I'm terrified of bees and wasps to the point that I looked at the windows here to make sure they were all closed up because I'm pretty convinced one of them has my name on it. And there's three reasons for that. The first one is kind of the Tom Sawyer part of the story. When I was a kid, my parents both worked. So they give me the enormous responsibility to watch over my younger brother and sister. And my younger brother one time got stung by a bee, and his face swelled up. So this is the Tom Sawyer part. I put him in, you remember those radio flyer wagons? I put him in that, and I put a towel over his head, and I wheeled him around the neighborhood, and I would show him the other kids for a price. And he was really frightening looking, but if you put his ears out, he looked just like a monkey. I know, there's a special place in hell. My neighbor, Mr. Kelly, grabbed my brother, drove him to the hospital, and saved his life. Now, it turns out my father strongly believed in corporal punishment. And what he would do years later, when somebody would argue, how could you possibly hit your child? He would bring me out and say, tell him how you almost killed your brother. Didn't you deserve that beating? And my brother, this is how Mother Nature gets back at you. My brother is 4 years younger than me. He has a full head of brown hair, and when we stand with each other, people always ask if I'm his dad. Also, he's well over 6 foot tall. He weighs at least 210, 220, and periodically, just to freak me out, he'll lean over and buzz in my ear. Part two of the story is, you move a couple years ahead, my father started to work at a job where he would be gone for like a month at a time. And my mother had responsibility for us, and she was tired because we were 3 hooligans. And we come in one day and we go, Mom, there's a wasp nest hanging in the front porch light. And my mother sighs, takes a, it's not marijuana, it's puff of her cigarette, and she says, use the back door. So we did that for the next month. This thing got as big as a football, and it was this swaying, buzzing, terrifying thing. You'd hear it like zoom, zoom, and it got bigger and bigger. My father, his way he approached when he would come back to the house to deal with the kids, he never came right home. He would always go to a bar to fortify himself before he would come home. So that night, he went to a bar, and he came home around midnight and came in the front door. And there's a rumor that wasps and bees don't sting at night. They will if they're disturbed. My father was 6'4", his head hit mid-football, and we heard him like, Mother of God! The next day, what he did was he had us all climb out the back porch to the house. We loaded up the car for a day trip to shore. My mother had the car running. My father ran up with the snow shovel, hit the nest, then ran back in the car, and we took off, which is like one of our family traditions, which is flee the scene of a crime. Jump ahead 30 years. This is the last part of the story. Now I'm a father. I have 3 hooligans of my own. And they're all under the age of 10. They go, Dad, we want to go walk in the woods. And they had these 2 friends with them, the Greismer girls. They're both around their 10 too. And the Greismer girls had their dog, and I had their dog. So I take 5 kids under the age of 10 and two dogs to below Westchester University. There, the woods there. And we're walking, having a great day with nature. Sorry, Michael, another day in nature, but a great day with nature, walking along. And I don't know who hit the beehive. I don't know if it was my kids, the dog, somebody my brother sent, I don't know. This swarm of killer bees comes at us, and I'd never seen anything. It's like, it's coming right at us, and I yell, run, which my kids know the drill. They've been through this before. They all take off with the dogs, all running for the car. The Greisman girls freeze. So I grab each of them and start running, and they look at me like realizing they can run a lot faster without me. They kick away from me, and they run out. So I'm trailing behind, and I'm getting stung left and right. I get to the car, I get them all in, they're screaming, the bees are still coming at us. And I'm get the windows up, we're rolling up the windows, and I look out the window, and sitting outside my door is my backpack with on top of it the car keys. So I have to make this moral choice. And I'm sitting there and I'm saying, you know, I'm the only adult here. But if I go down, who's going to drive these kids away? I mean, really, for the sake of the family, I might have to choose one of my three to be the hope of the franchise. That decision was eliminated by one of the Greismere girls just yelled, "Why? Why are they doing this?" And I just couldn't, I thought to myself, you just hitched a ride with the wrong family.
Bad, everybody.